What's up, you guys? So I come with a series of film reviews that I'll be posting across the week. So the first one is Hamnet. Hamnet was actually a dark horse for me. I had no clue about this movie. I didn't know that it was coming out. I had very little knowledge about anything to do with this story or this adaptation, and I came in and I was like, okay, let me have a look at this. And I did see a trailer or two, or like a few clips or a few images before walking into the cinema. I got to see this about a month ago and it was amazing. It was absolutely perfect. I thought that it was a surprise, for me at least. And I say that a lot about movies, but that's the fun thing about movies, that they always surprise you in a good way or a bad way, and you walk in and it's either or. But yes, I absolutely loved this film. The story is amazing and it goes through so many different arcs and different human experiences, and the way that they show grief is absolutely spectacular. Not in the fact that you watch the grief and you're enjoying it, but you actually feel the emotions of grief, and I'm sure everyone in their life feels grief in one way or another. And the way that this movie was shot, the way the performances were done, the script, the directing, everything about this, the sound, oh my god, the score was amazing. Everything about this film was just perfect from beginning to end. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with it, and even though I was absolutely sobbing during parts of the film, I still thought it was a perfect film. Yes, the grief can be a little too much, especially if you have just gone through something that's very traumatic to you. I don't recommend you watch this if you have lost a loved one, or if you have gone through something very deep and visceral. This is exactly that. It was very visceral, and yeah, I thoroughly thought that the story and how they adapted Hamlet, or at least they didn't adapt Hamlet per se, but it is a surrounding them Shakespeare losing his son. Spoiler alert, I guess. Spoiler alert! So the story revolves around William Shakespeare and Agnes Shakespeare, and how they deal with the loss of their son. And Agnes's character is the center point of the film, and it's done in such a beautiful way where you see both sides, but she's still the heart of the movie, and her grief and their grief at the same time. But the way that this film was made is really amazing, because it managed to show both but centered the mother. She is the center point of Shakespeare's family, which is very, very beautiful and very amazing in and of itself. So like, that's another thing that I thoroughly enjoyed about this story. And I know it's based off a book, but yes, this is, for me, the best movie of the year. I didn't think that anything could top it up, but this is the best movie of the year. The way that it's made, the way that I felt everything, the characters, the acting, the performances. Jessie Buckley absolutely knocked this out of the park, and she was absolutely amazing. Her performance, I swear, like, I felt like I was her at some point. The way that she shows and portrays the grief and the loss and the love and the happiness and the joy and everything surrounding this is just amazing. She absolutely did an amazing job, and if I was an Oscar voter, then she would absolutely have my Best Actress award for the year. Again, I genuinely enjoyed my time with this. Paul Mescal was also great. He did a great job showing Shakespeare, and he also kind of like really looks like Shakespeare, I guess, or at least a version of Shakespeare that I could, like, a young Shakespeare. And Jacoby Dupe, who plays Hamnet in this story, is amazing too. For a child's performance, he really, really, really did do well. So my score for this film is a 5 out of 5. I don't find any faults in this. Some people who have just gone through grief may find that the grief parts go on too long. I know that a lot of people have critiqued the grief, saying that the grief is shown and glamorized. I don't want to use the word for it because I don't know if YouTube will flag me, but grief is what has been described as is the bad part of this film. But to me, I think it was done pretty well, and I am very okay with understanding that grief has a very different way of being portrayed. Some people have different ways of going through this, but this was an amazing film, and it's a 5 out of 5, and this is my favourite film of the year and has one of my favourite performances of the year through Jessie Buckley. And yes, I highly recommend watching this film if you're able to, in the select theatres that they are releasing it in. Let me know what you think about this film if you do watch this, and yeah, till next time guys.